There's a belief that success belongs to a chosen few, that some people are born with talent, connections, or luck that others can only dream of. But that's a myth. Success is not owned by anyone. It's rented, and the rent is due every single day. Success doesn't care about your background, your bank account, or where you started. It only listens to effort, persistence, and the courage to keep going when everyone else stops. The world doesn't reward potential. It rewards execution. Today, I want to share with you 6 principles that will change how you think about success. Not as something to chase, but something to build. Luck is a spark. It might ignite a moment, but persistence is the fire that keeps it alive. The truth is, luck can open a door, but only persistence keeps it open. Most people retreat the moment they face difficulty. They mistake temporary failure for a permanent dead end. But those who rise above the noise see failure differently, not as a wall, but as a doorway to growth, to learning, and to mastery. Every major human achievement was born from relentless effort, not fortune. When Thomas Edison was asked how he felt about failing 1,000 times while inventing the light bulb, he said, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps." That mindset, the refusal to quit, is what transforms the impossible into the inevitable. History celebrates the breakthroughs, but it often forgets the sleepless nights, the rejections, and the uncertainty behind them. The Wright brothers didn't build a working airplane on their first try. They crashed, rebuilt, learned, and repeated over and over until one December morning in 1903 changed the world forever. The difference between dreamers and achievers isn't talent, wealth, or luck. It's endurance. Achievers wake up every day and do the work, even when no one's watching, even when no one believes. They keep moving, step by step, knowing that consistency compounds over time. Success doesn't belong to those who start fast. It belongs to those who keep going when it hurts, when it's slow, when it seems impossible. Because while luck fades, persistence multiplies. And in the end, the world always rewards the relentless. Comfort is seductive. It feels safe, familiar, and easy. But beneath that calm lies a silent killer of potential. The greatest threat to success isn't failure, it's comfort. Because failure teaches you, it stretches you. But comfort, it slowly convinces you that what you have is all you'll ever need. When you get comfortable, you stop taking risks. You stop asking, "What's next?" and start saying, "This is enough." You stop experimenting and start protecting. But progress doesn't live in protection. It lives in pursuit. The moment you stop chasing growth, you start decaying. Every great achievement in history was born out of discomfort. Take Michael Jordan, for instance, often called the greatest basketball player of all time. What most people don't know is that he was cut from his high school team. Instead of retreating into comfort, he spent countless hours in the gym, refining every weakness, fueled by pain and rejection. That discomfort became his greatest ally. The same truth applies to innovators. Steve Jobs was fired from the very company he founded. That experience, humiliating and painful, became the fire that led to the creation of Pixar and later, Apple's greatest innovations. Without that uncomfortable chapter, the world might never have seen the iPhone. Growth always hides on the other side of struggle. Muscles grow when they're torn, skills sharpen when they're tested, and character strengthens when it's challenged. If you want to rise, you must be willing to live in discomfort. Step outside what's easy. Chase what scares you. Because progress doesn't come to those who play it safe. It comes to those who dare to stretch beyond what feels comfortable. Remember, comfort creates mediocrity, but discomfort creates greatness. We are living in the fastest changing era in human history. Technology evolves by the minute, industries shift overnight, and information doubles every year. The skills that make you valuable today may become outdated tomorrow. In a world that never stops moving, standing still means falling behind. The only way to stay ahead is to learn faster than the world changes. The people who rise, who truly thrive, are the ones who never stop being students. They read, they experiment, they ask uncomfortable questions and challenge what they already know. Knowledge is no longer a luxury, it's a survival skill. And the moment you stop learning, the world quietly replaces you with someone who didn't. Look at the most successful innovators and leaders. They are obsessed with learning. Bill Gates reads about 50 books a year. Warren Buffett spends 80% of his day reading. These aren't just habits. They're strategies for staying ahead in a rapidly shifting world. They understand that knowledge compounds like interest. It multiplies quietly, invisibly, until one day it explodes into mastery. Data supports this truth. Studies show that individuals who dedicate even 1 hour a day to learning a new skill outperform 80% of their peers within 5 years. That's the power of consistent growth. It transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. So never think you're too experienced to learn. The greatest danger in success is the illusion that you already know enough. Be curious. Be a lifelong learner. Read books that challenge you. Seek mentors who push you. Experiment and fail forward. Because in the future, the learners will lead and the learned will be left behind. The world won't slow down for you. So your only choice is to speed up your learning and evolve faster than the change itself. Too many people spend their lives waiting for the right time, the right idea, the right opportunity. They convince themselves that success will come one day, when the stars align and everything feels perfect. But here's the truth. The perfect moment never arrives. Conditions will never be ideal. The timing will never be right, and the world will never give you permission to begin. Success belongs to those who start before they're ready. Every great story begins with uncertainty. When you start, you may not have all the answers, but action creates clarity, while waiting only feeds fear. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who had everything figured out. They're the ones who took the first step anyway. Think about it. When the founders of Airbnb launched their company, they didn't have investors or experience. They simply rented out air mattresses in their apartment to make ends meet. That humble beginning, that act of starting, led to a billion-dollar company that changed how the world travels. Or take J.K. Rowling. She wrote Harry Potter as a struggling single mother on welfare, scribbling ideas in cafes while her baby slept beside her. She didn't wait for financial security or perfect circumstances. She built her dream in the middle of chaos. When you wait, you wonder. When you start, you learn. Every action teaches you something new about the world, about others, and about yourself. Momentum builds only when you move. So stop waiting for confidence, clarity, or approval. None of those come first. They come after you begin. Build your vision even if it's small, even if it's uncertain. Because progress favors the doers, not the dreamers. And one small step today can become the foundation for everything you'll ever become. Failure isn't the end of the road. It's the map that shows you where to turn next. Most people see failure as a stop sign, a reason to quit. But the truth is, failure is not a signal to stop. It's a signal to learn. Every setback, every mistake, every disappointment carries valuable data, lessons, patterns, and insights that can guide your next move if you're willing to look deeper. The reason most people never reach success isn't because they fail too often. It's because they fail once and never try again. They let the pain of defeat silence their potential. But those who rise to greatness see failure differently. They treat it like a scientist treats an experiment, as feedback, not finality. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset turned thousands of so-called failures into the invention of the light bulb. Each mistake wasn't a setback. It was data that led him closer to the truth. In business, this principle is known as iteration. Companies like SpaceX and Tesla didn't achieve success by avoiding mistakes. They succeeded by learning faster from them. Every rocket explosion or product flaw became information, a blueprint for improvement. Life works the same way. Failure reveals what doesn't work so you can focus on what does. It refines your strategy, builds your resilience, and strengthens your character. If you can adopt a mindset that treats every failure as a system update rather than a shutdown, you'll never truly fail. You'll only evolve. Because failure doesn't define you, your response to failure does. And the ones who keep learning, adjusting, and moving forward are the ones who eventually turn their failures into foundations for success. Reaching success is not the end. It's the beginning of a greater duty. True success doesn't mean you stop climbing. It means you've reached a point where your climb should now inspire others to rise. Success is not about standing at the top alone. It's about reaching back to lift others up with you. The real purpose of success isn't to make life easier for yourself, but to make the world better for others. When you achieve something meaningful, you inherit a responsibility to create, to inspire, and to push humanity forward. Because success that serves only you is temporary, but success that serves others becomes timeless. Think about the great figures of history, people who didn't stop at their own accomplishments. When Nelson Mandela was freed from prison, he didn't retreat to comfort. He used his influence to rebuild a nation divided by hate. When innovators like Steve Jobs or Marie Curie reached milestones in science and technology, they didn't just celebrate, they used their breakthroughs to change the world. That's what true success looks like, progress that ripples beyond the self. Legacy isn't measured in possessions, but in impact. It's not about how much you achieve, but how much you contribute. A successful life is one that leaves behind footprints for others to follow. One that sparks hope, courage, and action in those who come after you. When your success lifts others, it becomes something time cannot erase. Money fades, fame disappears, but contribution endures. So when you reach your goal, don't stop. Build something that lasts. Inspire others to dream bigger. Because success is not ownership, it's stewardship. You don't just earn it, you owe it to the world to use it for something greater. Success is not owned. It's not inherited. It's not given. It's earned through relentless work, endless curiosity, and the courage to keep showing up. Every day, the rent for success comes due. So pay it with discipline, with sacrifice, and with action. Because the world doesn't belong to the talented. It belongs to the tireless.